Hi, everybody. Just want to tell you guys you're such a good-looking crowd, by the way. So kudos to you. Okay. All right. This is a huge dream come true for me, and I think I'm echoing. I've been a LinkedIn fan since it was in beta. I started off 3 years ago in a role just like you, sitting in a room trying to absorb and take notes and learn as much as I could about talent brand and social media. Because 3 years ago, I thought social media marketing or content marketing meant LinkedIn. That was it. That was all I used. And like I said, I was a recruiter. So I took these ideas to a big company. I've been with HP for almost 4 years. And little by little, literally little by little, we've come a long way. So I'm here to tell you guys a very open heart story of how I've come, my team has come along. Before we get started, I wanted to tell you a little bit about who HP is. I'm sure you guys know who HP is, but we're in year 3 of a 5-year turnaround. So that means we were having quite a hard time attracting talent and perhaps even retaining talent. A lot of the things that were in the news 2 years ago weren't quite favorable for someone that probably is in your role that would like to take a stable move, right? So we had to really dig deep and really understand where we were coming from. And again, so as we go through this journey, I want you guys to think of my journey as an 800-pound gorilla, okay? So keep that image in mind because that's kind of what it felt like when I took this project on. So I'm a firm believer in my team who is watching, hi everybody, on the live stream, that you're only as strong as the people on your team. So I cannot do this. I would not be here today without the lovely faces you see before me. What's interesting about this team is that we all have been with HP for quite some time, and we all started out as recruiters. None of us have any marketing experience beyond maybe a couple courses in college. We do not have a graphic designer or anything fancy on the team. As a matter of fact, we're recruiters with a passion for social media. So I have Desiree, who sits in Wisconsin, hailing from Panama. And then I have Adam Buck in Australia, who manages APJ. And then we have Catalina Rulesco, who dual hats. She manages our global employer brand, and also leads EMEA Digital. We meet monthly, we meet bi-weekly, we do one-on-ones, because as you understand, I sit in Maryland, so we sit in all corners of the world. So my purpose of spending some time talking about this is that HP obviously put some thought into it, right? So as we're going through the transition, we decided that we were going to make digital a key cornerstone and talent brand a key cornerstone of how we were going to invest time and money. So everybody on this team got promoted into these roles. We didn't hire from outside, and obviously we didn't hire any digital or social media experts, because I'm not here to tell you that's who we are. So what is talent brand? So it took me some time to figure that out on my own. Like I said, I didn't come from marketing. I sat in your role. I've learned, luckily I have an amazing mentor at HP who is our employer brand global lead who has taught me a lot. But in the essence, what I wanted to do for HP and what I'm hoping everybody here wants to do is to humanize the life cycle of talent acquisition, right? So it's an intimidating factor to be looking for a job, whether it's something that you've personally decided or it's something that you've been put in a role to do, right? So how do you make someone on the other end look at your company and want to be there, all right? So that's kind of what talent brand means to me. Now, I joined this role at a really good time. So we've decided before I joined the team that we were going to spend a little time and effort on revamping our talent brand. So we had to look at what was important to us, right? And I always say this, our printing and computer team have a fabulous product. So they can put that, I see an HP laptop right there. So they can put that out there and people could easily say, yep, I'm gonna buy that awesome tablet, that awesome computer. Well, truth be told, we need to find a way of how to connect with people about the great things about being at HP, right? And at that time, keep in mind, we're in a transition, lots of things are changing. I don't think we had that message very strongly. So we have 4 awesome things at HP. We have great people, we have great career opportunities, we have fabulous managers, and last but not least, we're a great company. That may not have been said at the time, but we definitely have those 4 things. So this has been the cornerstone, this has been the 4 pillars of what we have leveraged for our talent brand. Last but not least, we really needed our employees to be the brand. So we wanted to offer them an authentic experience to take this to the next level. I wanted to share this with you guys because, you know, a journey is a journey, right? So as you guys are starting your journeys, I wanted you guys to see where we've started and where we've ended up. So we were very product heavy, you know, God, in 2005, I don't even know if you guys can see that, but all I see is yellow. It doesn't scream HP to me. So change has happened, which is a good thing. And this time around, we wanted to just leverage our corporate brand, right? So we obviously put a lot of time and money and effort for our corporate brand. So we are an extension of that. We are the corporate brand. At HP, we make it matter. And that is the message we really wanted to put out there for candidates, for employees, and it's really come a long way in the past year. Everybody's very HP proud. So here's some examples of collateral that we use. As you can see from the previous slide, you'll see faces, you'll see diversity, you'll see women in tech, you'll see smiles. The goal here is that we wanted to be aspirational. We wanted to offer candidates a home to find a future, because that's what HP is. We want you to connect with the fact that you can build your career here and that you need to go no further, right? So just retire with us, that's it. Okay, so I wanted to spend some time on that because we did invest over a year in building this out. And I know a lot of you probably don't have those capabilities, but leverage your corporate brand is the key message here, right? Don't go too far beyond it. Take what your corporate brand is and make it easily relatable to your candidates. So I'm no social media expert, but I have a passion for digital. So that I can speak to with ease until my face is blue. So right about this time, we're entering, you know, back to my 800-pound gorilla. My journey, you know, I think of it like a weight loss health journey. So the gorilla is about 600 pounds right now. We've got the brand. We're armed with energy. We've built a team. Me and the team have been working together for 8 months. Things are going well, all right? And we started this 8 months ago, by the way. So we built this strategy, right? And it's a very busy slide, but I don't know. It's my passion there. So I'm going to talk you through this because before we start talking about content, I think you guys need to think about how you're going to lay the foundation down, okay? So as you all know, there's like 999 social media platforms you could be on, right? I'm not going to name them all because I will raise my hand right now. I tried every single one of them. If you Google me, there's probably 10 pages of, you know, left off profiles I've created. For our organization, for HP Careers is what we call it, we decided to focus on 3, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. For obvious reasons, right? They're the top 3. And that's what we focused our energies on. And obviously, as you all know, without going into too much detail, each platform offers different type of opportunities, right? There's microblogging, we have company pages on LinkedIn, we have groups. So all these platforms offer different things for us. Then we thought about who do we want to attract, right? So for us, it's university, it's interns, it's veterans, it's passive tech talent, but most of all, we really want to retain our employees, right? Back to the transition, back to the gorilla. We want to make everyone happy and stay with us, right? So that is also part of our digital strategy is to tell stories that are compelling for people to like and comment back and share their stories. And last but not least, it's been very important for us that not just to build these things, because you can build them and no one will show up, it's to build talent communities where people are talking back to us. 3 years ago, when I sat in your role, the keynote speaker said, you know you're doing well when your talent community is answering your questions for you. And that is finally happening at HP Careers. So someone will ask a question, how to apply, our talent communities go in and drive them to our link before I even get there. And we're operating on an 8-hour turnaround time for answering all comments. Within an hour, someone else is already responding for me. So that has always been my measure of success. I don't know, it resonated with me that day. But long story short, the goal here, A, was to humanize the talent acquisition lifecycle, to make it easy for the candidate to really relate to the recruiter. And second of all, going back to that same mission where we don't have a printer or a laptop to make people excited, so our employees were our content. Our employee is the cornerstone of this. And by having all this, how I was able to sell it, for lack of a better word, to our leadership team, is that we really needed to have this content, these stories, this presence, So our talent acquisition team could become net promoters, and in the end of the day, have the content to leverage and sell our jobs. So I'm not going to really go into all of my points there, but we've been doing pretty well with this. So think about, this is where we started, right? This is, with all of that, we also had to look at everything else that we had. So as we were building out a Facebook, a LinkedIn groups and all of that, we really needed to notice, we started to notice rather, that what we were saying on one page was different than what we were saying on the other. And we started realizing that when the candidate went to apply, they couldn't get anywhere, right? So here we are sending them through Facebook, but they couldn't apply. So we invested time and money on going mobile, updating our career site to look just like everything else. So we did do easy, simple steps from one branded experience throughout this digital process. This is probably, I don't know if this is, you guys are doing it or not, but about a year ago, HP was not searchable on Google. You could search our company, obviously, HP, but not the job. So we put some time and money into becoming SEO, searchable on Google, Indeed. And that to us was amazing, the turnaround that came from that. So I don't want to talk too much about that, but I thought that that was a very big thing for us. So we have this global strategy that I've shared with you guys at a high level. We rely on the regional leads that I shared with you in the beginning of this chat to deploy it. So what that means is our regional leads are meeting on a daily basis with hiring managers, with recruiters, with HR business partners, with anybody who wants to talk to us. We don't turn anyone away, to collect stories of our people. And so monthly we meet to brainstorm on what stories we think are cool, right? And most of the time what I do is I spend a lot of time researching what our competitors are doing, right? Not because I want to imitate, but because I want to see what they're doing. I really do thrive on seeing what other people are doing. I think it's important to understand what your market's about. And then we come up with these amazing stories. So I'm going to share that further on. But so when we have these content meetings, all of a sudden in the past 8 months we've created content calendars, which probably seems super normal to you guys. Well, again, I'm not from marketing, so we were putting anything and everything at any time we wanted. We weren't thinking, hey, we're a global company. We need to have things in APJ. We need to have times for EMEA. We got very organized, and honestly, it was mainly because I'm an organized type A individual, if you haven't noticed yet. So that really worked for us. And as you're building out your content strategy, keep in mind that those calendars are going to help you. And always, I say, less is more. So you want to focus on quality over quantity. Sometimes people want to bombard with 900 tweets, and they get really nervous as, oh my God, I have nothing to say. One solid post a day that is engaging, key to your brand, and connecting with people is solid gold in my book. So I put up here, all the things that we've done and some accolades. I don't know if you guys read the LinkedIn blog, but earlier last week we were best in class for status updates. So we were feeling super excited at HP about that. I felt like finally my child is graduating and going to college when we received that award. But we've come a long way. We focus on quality over quantity. Sometimes, one post a day on Facebook is plenty for us as long as it matches everything. All right, so like I said, we do regional deployment. Each of my regional leads have these fantastic teams who are also watching, so wave one more time. In the Americas, it's led by Desiree, who I showed you her lovely picture before. And what we do within region is that they work with getting us the content that is going to engage regionally. So my big approach at HP is that if I sit in Idaho, I want to see what's going on in India, because obviously we're a global company, right? So why are we, geo-targeting everything? If I sit in Italy, I want to know what my counterparts in China are doing. So we make a very solid effort to meet within regions, pull these stories of our employees, and share them globally. And that has been phenomenal for us. So each of the regional leads have fantastic teams. How we built these teams were they're handpicked. So they're basically our top performers within recruiting. Again, nobody is in marketing. These people are actually so phenomenal on the team because they actually recruit full time and give me a little time of their day to help me with this. So I call them my digital warriors. And my digital warriors come up with content, they create it, they put it together, and then the regional leads post and schedule. some of the things that we do in the Americas, for example, they lead our volunteer voices. So you may not know this, but HP is really big on social innovation. And we are offered 4 hours a day, 4 hours a month to volunteer. So what that means is, as a candidate, if you're really into that, that is a fantastic selling point that's actually free, right? Well, 4 hours a month is not really costing anyone too much. So what we do on a weekly basis is we focus on teams and people that are using those 4 hours for goodwill. And I'll tell you, it's one of our most popular posts. Super easy, because all we do is ask the employees to snap a picture wherever they are, and then we feature them and the charity of choice. People, for some reason, love our Happy Friday, Happy Saturday posts. And typically what we do is we feature an employee that, our most popular post last month was an employee that was scuba diving in Mexico. And his picture was seriously just underwater, him posing. He submitted it. And what we said was, how are you going to spend your weekend? And out of nowhere, we got 100 likes. And we're like, oh my God, who would have thought that one of our employees scuba diving was going to be so phenomenal? Diversity, inclusion, and wellness is huge for HP. It's one of our part of our, can't think of the word right now, but part of who we are, our DNA. So we spend a lot of time putting those types of posts together, highlighting our diversity inclusion program. Right now, we're in the middle of a 8-week program to lose weight and wellness and walk around the world. And so we do posts like that weekly too that are managed by My America's team. So in Asia Pacific, which is led by Adam Buck, his team sits all over the world. He's got one of the biggest teams, actually. And APJ, it's the same thing. I forgot to mention this, but so regionally, what we geo-target based on country or location is job opportunities and events. So those don't get posted globally. But we allow each country, and allow is a bad word, but we encourage each company country to post job opportunities to Facebook. Again, not on a daily basis and not multiple jobs. We're talking like hot jobs. We're talking jobs that on a hiring ramp up, we're having a hard time to fill, and LinkedIn will offer that, that boost in trying to find people. And that has been really phenomenal for us. Also, we do a lot of career events, or we do a lot of Explore HP events, which means, it's not really a career event. We're not really hiring right now, but we want you to come see who we are. We want you to see what we have to offer. We share product lines, and so those are also country targeted. Now, in HPJ, we're extremely social conscious. So if I said that before for the volunteerism in APJ, that is who they believe. Most of the posts that we get in APJ is about the fantastic things they're doing. So a lot of the posts and campaigns being run out of APJ are in that social conscious space. So my EMEA team, who I know is on right now, they have a big team as well. And they sit all over. So I'm not going to go into the numbers. They are very engaged, actually. My EMEA team is probably, and then America's, the most engaged digital warriors I have. They lead a lot of our global campaigns. So for instance, we have a big campaign going on right now where we're doing the top 3 things, right? Top 3 things. So we'll ask employees, what are the 3 things that sit on your desk? What are the 3 things that motivate you? Or what are the 3 things you like about HP? And the goal here, and it's in the right-hand corner if you want to look at the collateral, but is putting someone that has been HP for a very long time. So someone that is, a 10, 15-year veteran of HP, and then right next to them, a new hire. So that way we can show, and honestly, we do not prompt them at all. We put whatever they say, but the answers are exactly the same. Our employees are HP proud. So without any prompting, without anything, people that have been sitting at HP for a long time and a short time are sharing a lot of the same values, right? And so this has been a great post, actually, that we've been running. We're no different. We do the Throwback Thursday. We're a company that started in a garage. We leverage that. Our founder's one of the first big people in tech. Absolutely, we're going to use them in our collateral to bring people more into bring more like them into us. So here's where I want to spend most of my time. I shared a lot, and I talk really fast, so I'm sorry I get excited. In this journey, right, because I've made it sound really easy. I've replayed this speech in my head 100 times. I want you guys to understand that my gorilla right now is still at 400 pounds, all right? So we've come a long way. Imagine losing 400 pounds in a health loss journey. You're doing fantastic, you're feeling great. But at the end of the day, I want a slim, trim gorilla. So I'm really trying hard to get there, right? By whatever my key goals are. I'm not there yet. So by no means am I saying I'm an expert. By no means am I saying, you know, this is it. It's just that you have to take what you have and you have to be your own champion, right? And again, leverage all your resources, right? By no means am I saying go out and spend a whole lot of money on hiring a marketing team and a digital graphic. If you have the money, absolutely. I mean, I raise my hand every time there's like budget talks. I like that. Take your recruiters. They talk to candidates every day. Your recruiters are people that understand what's going on in the market with very little, you know, you could just ask them. They know, they get the pain points. They know what the candidates want to see. They know why they're not coming to your company. Recruiters will help you tell a story. But your solid gold that's sitting, your gold mine at your company is your employee. So go to your employees, motivate them to tell them their stories. I'll tell you, the minute that you share, an employee gets on Facebook, they share it with their mom, their dad. Next thing you know, that post has been shared 4 or 5 times because the employee is excited to be on Facebook being highlighted. They feel like a celebrity. And then our candidates, our potential candidates love it too. Leverage all your resources. So from staffing, go there. If you have a marketing department, become friends with them. Hi, marketing. Get along really well with marketing. I go to them for a lot of advice. They're the experts. If I can get anything from them, whether it's content for a big holiday or something that they've spent money on, they are your friends. And you know, like any good relationship, it takes time to become friends with people. But if you have a marketing department, leverage them. Leverage your vendors. You know, I meet with LinkedIn monthly to learn about trends and how people are coming to our career pages and are our career pages doing well. And this is what you need to leverage them. Talk to them. You know, that's what they're here for. You know, make sure that everything that you have at your fingertips you're using. Celebrate your successes because, you know, in the beginning, my first post got 1 like, and oh my God, you would have thought that I got 1,000. I sent it to every single VP that was listening. And I was like, we got a like. So the little ones count, you know? If I get to share, you know, I'm super excited. We did Google Hangouts. I didn't talk about this a lot. We call them recruiting Hangouts to not give Google too much credit, but we're using the Google platform to do Hangouts where we're actually showcasing our interns. It's big right now. And we're asking about life at HP and how they feel, and they're really fun. 8 months ago, people were like, oh, I don't know about that. You know, I'm not really sure. You know, so our first one I thought did fantastic. And I sent it to every single person that heard me talk about it because I'd been talking about it for 8 months and I finally launched it. And you know, truth be told, we got 600 views, which in the scheme of life compared to what the views that Google gets is not a lot. But 600 views for me was phenomenal. And I made sure I told every single person that cared to listen. So celebrate them. You know, 1 like, 600 views, who cares? You know, you did something good and people are taking notice. And the other big thing about that is everybody on our teams are really busy, and we're all wearing 100 hats, and we're all doing a whole bunch of different jobs. So they're not really checking your views, and they're not checking your likes. So sometimes, and you know, social is dynamic. So what you post today that gets 10 likes, you know, your boss can go in tomorrow and see a post that only got 2 likes. So take those posts, share them, because at the end of the day, you're going to need it as you build your strategy to get that following. That you want people to believe in you, and those little things help. All right, so this is my big one. Learn to let go. And as you can see, I'm strained when I say that because I have a hard time letting go of anything. But I'm not a hoarder. I'm just mean like in general. Sounded pretty bad. So most of my content campaign strategies come to me when I'm in the shower, right? So I get out of the shower and I write these things down and then I put them in paper and I tell my team, and my team would probably, if they were here, they'd tell you she's crazy. You know, and I put them down and I get super excited and I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a good one and I'm gonna get 100 likes on this or whatever. And then, you know, the build up, we're on a 4-week campaign, so I'm waiting 4 weeks for it to go up and then it flops completely. And I'm like, come on, Mom, please like it. And it just doesn't happen. So for a while there, I kept posting it because I was like, oh no, the second time around it's gonna work better. And then I'd go home and cry in my pillow. But the long story short of it is let go. You know, timing is everything with social. So what sounds like it's going to be a good idea today and it flops, it's okay. It's okay. We all make mistakes. I make a gazillion of them. Things that I think are going to work really, really well for HP and don't. And then they don't work. And then, you know, 6 months later, it ends up working out just fine. So you just save it, you know, and try later. But the reason I bring this up is because I, maybe like many of you in this room, take failure and see it as a way to quit or stop doing it, right? And that's something I'm working on. Don't let the failures stop you from what you're doing, because you're going to get a lot of them. Because sometimes what you like is different than what I like. And imagine, you know, right now we have 60,000 fans on Facebook and 1.7 million on LinkedIn. It's a whole lot of people to please. And so you're not going to please everyone. I'll give you an example of one of my, I can't believe I'm going to say this on TV, but one of my major flops, so you guys can resonate. So we have this intern selfie contest, right? So we have our interns take selfies wherever they are, and it's really awesome, and you know, people love selfies. Hey, I don't know if you guys are following me, I've taken like 4 of them today. So maybe I like selfies. So anyways, she was at an event in Israel where she met the prime minister. So she took a picture with the prime minister, and I'm like, wow, as an intern at HP, got to do this, right? Ill-educated, I posted it on LinkedIn. Did really well, by the way, on Facebook and Twitter. No backlash. LinkedIn is one of our most engaged talent communities. People talk to us. We post something, we get 100 comments. Like, literally, how do I apply? Good and bad, you know, but that's life. You want good and bad, right? That post, I watched it because every minute I was getting something negative. Oh, HP did something, you know, we were never going to buy HP. I mean, it was never about like not joining us as a company. It was more so about not buying our product. So I was like sweating because I don't want to piss off my new friends in marketing. And so I was like, oh my God, I'm going to really, really mess this up. And finally I told on myself, because I've been waiting all day, you know, 3 hours have gone by, someone's going to call and fire me. Someone's going to call and like, I'm going to have no job. I've called all my friends, like my lifelines are gone. Anyways, I called and told on myself, because you know, that's who I am. So I'm like, hey, I did something really bad. Have you seen LinkedIn? And of course they had it. And so she goes in, she goes, oh, it's not that bad, just delete it. And I'm like, I've been stressing for 4 hours. You mean I can just delete it? And she goes, yeah, don't worry about it. So let go, right? I wish I would have called her 4 hours before, because I spent 4 hours getting gray hair. It's not cheap. So anyways, those were some of my huge aha moments. I wanted to leave time for questions, so please, anything you have, I will try my best to answer it.
Yeah, and as you can see, there's microphones on the right and left of the stage, so if you have a question, you can either come on up or raise your hand, and we can have some runners come out to the audience.
Come on, there's got to be a question. Anything? Yes?
So tell me about your internal comms.
Wait. Let me get you a mic. For the sake of the stream.
Oh, this answer's going to be a good one.
Hi.
Hi, repeat it.
So tell me about your internal comms team, because our hands are really tied by what we can say and what goes out there. And our internal comms team is like, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're a large company. What are your rules? What are your guidelines? And how do you get around them?
Okay, so we have a fantastic director of communications. Hi, Cheryl. So like Salesforce.com, we do send out emails to our employees asking them to tweet and stuff for us, right? When I need something like that, I go through a strenuous communications process. I've gotten to a point at HP, and I hope this doesn't change. Is there any wood around here? Where they trust me. So I'm not going through, for anything that's on digital and social media, I'm not going through any process where I'm asking external people to look at it. I kind of am the end-all, be-all. So those other people that work on my team create the content and all that stuff, and then it comes to me and I edit it. I hope that doesn't change after this. So no, I don't have that issue. I did in the beginning. This is what I tell everybody, including my team. If you can go to bed at night and be okay with the fact that Meg Whitman saw that, you're golden. If you can't go to bed thinking Meg Whitman's okay with it, please do not put it on any of my channels. Please do not. And that's kind of how I live. And you know, in personal networks, if your grandma's not okay with it, then don't post it. Anyone else? Yes?
So you talked a little bit about rebranding of your Taleo internal and external sites.
Yes.
Can you talk about to what extent you are applying some of this to your internal population of employees and marketing
You mean
to
like
them?
our internal hiring?
Mm-hmm.
We're actually in the process of creating a much better, easier system for our internal employees as well. We probably should be looking to launch that in about 6 weeks. Leverage the same external. We want to offer everybody the same experience, and especially our internals, right? So we're going to leverage the same external system and bring it in internally. It's in the process. It's a little different on the front end, back end of that system, so we couldn't launch at the same time.
So as far as outside of the actual Taleo, ATS, leading into that, has there been things
Yes.
developed?
Absolutely. So we have websites that are set up for employee referral system, for internal career mobility. We call it career mobility. And so it's a big program around our career mobility. And there's a page that talks to them about that. HP's really big on connecting with your manager so that they can give you, career advice, and we meet that. So all of that is there, how to get that information. We recently transitioned to Workday, which makes the conversation a lot easier. So Workday powers a lot of that for us. And so those systems are all kind of playing together. The employee can pull in their LinkedIn profile so we know where they want to go. And that really is helpful, and I think, to start the conversation. But we do need to make I don't know if it's an ATS in the front end, but we do need to change that, and that's in the process.
Thanks.
No problem.
Yes. How do you measure success of your programs?
Okay, so this is a good question. So I was on a call not too long ago with our director of talent acquisition, and I said to her, for the past 8 months, we've been measuring success on how many likes I get, right? And how much we've grown. Because you know what? We started from 0. So the fact that we're at 1.7 million fans in LinkedIn, and we're at 60,000, which just happened yesterday on Facebook, that's all fantastic, right? But I said to her, at some point, you're going to fire me if I'm not producing hires, right? And if I'm not producing applicants, right? So help me help you. How can we do that? And obviously, we weren't set up in any fashion on the other channels. On LinkedIn, we know exactly when people are applying and how they're getting, where they're coming from. So LinkedIn has been an extremely great partner with that. But on the other channels, we weren't having a way to track that. So we are launching on Friday a Facebook tab powered by Talent Brew, where every single application will get tracked to hire when it comes from Facebook, finally. I mean, that's like a big win for me. So right now, and to answer your question, it's based on likes and fan, simple stuff. But pretty soon, we're going to change that to hires and applications. It's in process. FY15 should be a big year for us to start coming to these events and saying we made XYZ hires from social media. Yes.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you managing your content calendar? Is it your team? Is it your digital warriors? Is it a combination of both?
So I meet with my regional leads monthly for brainstorming sessions and bi-weekly just to chit-chat and see where we're going. But it's on PowerPoint, and we have a calendar. It's dynamic. Like I said, each region leads campaigns, and so we go from there. And the digital warriors help us collate and bring the content. So like our digital warriors, just so you know, are recruiters that, like, for instance, sit in Romania. So they are recruiting. So when they go to their hiring managers, say, oh, you know what? You have a job. And guess what? We have this really awesome campaign where you could feature your job if I can interview you and put your picture on Facebook. And at first, we were like, oh, I don't know about that. But now it's like, yeah, can I get on Facebook? And by the way, I have a job, So it's been an 8-month journey to get there. But the content calendar is primarily managed by me. We then submit it over to leadership, obviously, for review. Hi.
Hi. So you talk about building your talent brand, but you already had a recognizable consumer brand.
Of course.
So how would that translate for an organization like a small tech startup? What are some of the key pieces of advice that you would give an organization that doesn't already have a consumer brand?
Okay. So I'll tell you, I've never worked for a company as large as HP. So from a recruiter standpoint, I always worked for companies that were like, where are you calling from? And I think it's a matter of delivery, right? So I say whoever is your key stakeholders in making this decision, sit down together and decide what your product is, right? And this may mean to include people in marketing as well, so you can come up with something together. And again, I really don't believe that the employer brand should be any different than your corporate brand. It should just be an extension of it, because at the end of the day, then both will flop. You need each other. But I say that you figure out what your solid gold aha thing is, right, and roll with that. But you can make it happen. God, I used to recruit people. I'm not going to say names, but I worked for a company that was unheard of, and I'd pull people in. So it's a matter of your delivery, and it's what you come up and say. But I want you to go to your stakeholders and make sure what you're saying is aligned with what they believe in too. Yes.
I have a question from the live stream.
Yay.
How do you manage being an extension of a corporate brand when the energy in the field location is different?
Okay. Meaning, like if they're sitting somewhere else?
I think so. 140 characters. That's what they got.
All right, so I'm going to tell you my story. So I sit in Gaithersburg, Maryland. I mean, I'm not even going to insult my city by asking you guys to raise your hands, if you know where that is. I joined HP 4 years ago almost, and I never worked for a big company. And so I think it's a matter of what you put into it, right? Like life. I'm not going to even make this about career, right? So it's what you put into it is what you're going to get back. And so, I could sit in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and not talk to a single person and not get infused into who HP is as a company. But I made it my vision, my point in life was to really understand who HP is, who we are, where we're going. And so I think that if at your field location you could go to a satellite office and join other individuals, that's a great way to start. I go into our Herndon, Virginia office as much as I possibly can to do volunteerism and connect with those individuals there. So I think it's a matter of finding a way to connect. Now again, my team is global, so no chance, well, this may change. We may meet one day, but we make sure we talk. Like I'm talking to those individuals on a daily basis if I possibly can. We do video conferencing conversations so we see each other's faces. Find a way that works for you without making it too crazy. Phone calls, link, with Desiree and I are on chat every day, all day. Find a way to connect to your employees, and I think that'll be helpful.